अस्सलाम वालेकुम नाज़रीन, DTVNN के साथ मैं हूँ किरण। नजर डालते हैं आज की खुसूसी रिपोर्ट की जानिब। ह्यूस्टन एथनिक मीडिया सर्विसेज और नेशनल पार्टनरशिप फॉर न्यू अमेरिकन नेचरलाइज ने ह्यूस्टन सिटी हॉल लेगेसी रूम, जो ह्यूस्टन टेक्सास ह्यूस्टन की एक 77022 तारीखी इमारत का हाल है, में एक प्रोग्राम और ज़ोहराने का इनेकाद किया।
So that every individual has a community member who can arm them with the best information about how to become a citizen. And so we'll be in schools, we'll be in churches, we'll be on the local media talking about ways that one can access all of the free services. And so you'll hear a little bit about some of the other partners that are working to promote naturalization. Today, we want to thank our partners, especially the City of Houston, Harris County, again, Houston Endowment, and other folks that are working to promote naturalization in Greater Houston. I think Houston is a magical place. Of all the places that I've been able to tour in the United States, this city and this county have a very special recipe. And I'll tell you what that is so that Houston can become the naturalization capital of the United States. You have a strong and robust and wonderful NGO nonprofit community who's working together to really align toward this work for the long haul. So beyond that, I think that you will have an incredible recipe for success to reach the 312,000 eligible to naturalize population here in Greater Houston. And I think that we can together make Houston the naturalization capital of the United States. So I hope you will join us in this effort in helping reach as many people as possible, and that you will look to the partners here with me today as a resource as we're trying to outreach to our communities. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Nicole. The number, again, of eligible legal permanent residents in Harris County or in Houston?
It's Greater Houston, so I think it's City of Houston and all of the area of Harris County. And so you'll hear from representatives of both here this morning as well.
It's wonderful to have a specific target to hold ourselves accountable to. The question of why people delay how they finally decide to naturalize and what it means once they have gained naturalization. We're going to hear next from Hervé Michel Bermadou, who is from the Central African Republic and has recently gotten his papers. Thank you.
Hello everyone. As she was saying, my name is Hervé Michel Bermadou. I was born in CAR, Central African Republic. It's like a really tiny country in the middle of Africa, pretty much. I'm pretty sure everybody knows about it here. It's that small. And since the 1960s, since independence, it's been having like war and crises and, like typical, stuff that we see of Africa sometimes about crises and war. But after high school, I came in Houston for college in 2013. And right around that time, Civil War broke out again, CAR. And this time it was religious war, Muslim against Christian, against, people who didn't believe in anything. And my father was a Christian, so we got targeted for politics reasons, religious reasons, and many other reasons. And while I was here studying, because I came in here for college, and I was studying computer science, and then I had to switch later on, so we couldn't mix. But it was just the start, just the beginning. And with war going on, and I was depending on my parents, on tuitions and everything, on my way of living and everything. So I had to it was really hard to, because in America, everything is, like you said, we had to pay for it. So I wasn't able to maintain the cost of living, my tuition and everything. And I never thought of becoming a citizen, even having any immigration stature in the United States. For me, it was coming here, studying, having the great diplomas that America was offering and all that, and on my way back to Africa or anywhere in the world, and you know. But he was like a beginning of the story. Like I was stuck in here, and my family back home was struggling. Like they had to flee the country to a neighboring country, Cameroon, and they ended up in France.
प्रोग्राम को दोहराने का मकसद ह्यूस्टन जो सिटी ऑफ कंट्रीज़ कहलाता है में मुकीम 3 लाख से ज़ायद तारकिन वतन को शहरियत हासिल करने की तरफ राग़ब करना और इनको इसकी अफादियत से आगाही और इनके अंदर इस हवाले से मौजूद तहफ़्फ़ुज़ात को दूर करना शामिल था।
Citizenship Day to be celebrated every year here on out on September 17th is incredibly meaningful. So we are so grateful for your support and for your commitment to the community and residents of Harris County. Thank you.
And I'm going to have to speak out because Commissioner's Court is happening right now. And so actually Toy Babineau is our resident expert on working with our immigrants.
The biggest barriers that are in materials that we receive is financial and language barrier. Many people, especially if they immigrate at an older age, it's not as easy for them to acquire proficiency in English. So English proficiency is definitely one barrier. But the other barriers are financial.
इस मौका पर रेडियो, प्रिंट और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया से ताल्लुक़ रखने वाले अफराद की भी बड़ी तादाद मौजूद थी।
How can one stop such a wonderful story? That is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And that is very much what
We can do the same. Harris County is incredible in that we have 25% of our population, and we are the 3rd most populous county in the nation. 25% of our population are immigrants, and they make up 1/3 of our workforce, our labor force. And so this group and what we're trying to do can be transformative. And the county is grateful to be a partner with our city and of course Houston Endowment. Again, public-private sectors and our not-for-profit, our judge, our county judge are super supportive of this effort and this community. And we brought 2 proclamations, one from the county judge and one from our commissioner, Adrian Garcia, because again, they believe in this. And so I'm grateful to be part of this and to be part of this effort.
Thank you. Do you want to say?
EMS के नुमाइंदे सेंडी क्लोज ह्यूस्टन से ताल्लुक़ रखने वाले मारूफ मीडिया नुमाइंदगान को भी बाकायदा मुतारिफ करवाया गया। NPNA के निकोल मालाकू जो रियासी अमूर और मुहाजिरीन के मसाइल और आगाही के हवाले से 1 दहाई से ज़्यादा तजर्बा रखते हैं। NPNA नेशनल पार्टनरशिप फॉर न्यू अमेरिकन नेचरलाइज ने इज्तिमाई ताकत को बरोकार लाने के लिए काम करती है। मुल्क के सबसे बड़े तारकिन वतन पर मुश्तमिल 60 तंजीमों का 40 रियासतों में फैला नेटवर्क एडवोकेसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और पॉलिसीज़ की बेहतरी के लिए काम करता है।
About such an important topic here in our city. My mother came to this country in 1992 and she became a legal resident of the United States in 1997, I believe. It took her about 12 years to even think about citizenship. I remember it was in 2010 or 11 when she started having that conversation with us as a family. Why? Because, like mentioned here, there were barriers that were stopping that, such as the English language barrier, the financial barrier, but also just the fact that for a lot of the people in our communities, they don't even know where to start with citizenship. A lot of the times they think that they have to go to a lawyer and pay big fees, and that it's going to take a long process, and a lot of the times they're very misinformed about the process. So it is why Mi Familia Vota and all of the partner organizations that are going to join in this force, along with the city of Houston, is going to be crucial for this movement. Mi Familia Vota especially, I want to be able to really emphasize the importance of our community navigators. Mi Familia Vota will start a community navigators program in which we will stipend a lot of the leaders and the volunteers that we already work with to be able to carry this work. With these community navigators, they will be able to go to different parts of Houston and really tell and inform the community, the residents that are eligible for naturalization, about the services that are here and offered to them. Again, to be able to tackle down those barriers that a lot of us face, that a lot of our community members face. And I think at the end of the day, this is going to lead for the movement and really start seeing a lot of the people becoming citizens. And at the end of the day, really boosting our economy, because we have seen from data that whenever our community members become citizens, we boost our economy. Not only do we boost our self-income, but we are able to also be participants of our democracy, right? At Mi Familia Vota, we also really aim to increasing that Latino political power, and obviously being a citizen is going to really help that. And for the community navigators, again, going back and emphasizing on the community navigators, we always like to develop the people that we work with, and for them to be out there speaking to our community and informing our community, we are also giving them professional development opportunities, right? So it's a win-win for everyone. We're informing the people around us, and they're also gaining knowledge.
निकोल मालाक्यू ने मीडिया से बात करते हुए कहा है कि ग्रेटर ह्यूस्टन और इसकी काउंटीज़ में काम जारी है, जहां हम अपने साथ मौजूद तमाम पार्टनर्स के साथ राब्ते में हैं और मुश्तरका तौर पर काम सरअंजाम दे रहे हैं। उन्होंने कहा है कि हम ह्यूस्टन में 3 लाख से ज़ायद लोगों को इस हवाले से रहनुमाई फ्राहम करना चाहते हैं। आपकी मदद से हम कम्युनिटी सेंटर, स्कूल्स और मजहबी मुकामात पर भी जाएंगे। दीगर मुकर्रीरीन ने भी खिताब किया।
My dad passed away. He died in 2021. He passed in 2021, and he helped me realize that, like, as if it was like a question mark in my head. What was I doing? Like, it was just being here, working, and I wasn't accomplishing anything. Like, I wasn't doing anything for my family. Like that was concrete. And I started asking myself questions. I started as a believer, as a Christian, I started. This is a great story. Like, the Iron Storm is always peaceful. Always peaceful. So I had to, like, I'm like, okay, I need to remain calm, not trying to act crazy. Like, I need to work more, make some more money, find another job. So I try to be like, what is my purpose here in America? Because I was like, I'm stuck here. I can't go anywhere. But I was looking around me, and I thought it's funny that Elon Musk in the way that, okay, he's from, many people probably don't know it, but he's from Pretoria, South Africa, and he came in here I probably don't know what he was thinking, but I knew that inside of him, he wanted to accomplish great things. Like, he had a vision, not only for himself, but like for the people around him.
That Citizenship Day, to be celebrated every year here on out on September 17th, is incredibly meaningful. So we are so grateful for your support and for your commitment to the community and residents of Harris County. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to have to speak out because Commissioner's Court is happening right now. And so actually Toy Babineau is our resident expert on working with our immigrants. And so she'll be here for the Q&A and we'll take mine as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Zenobia Lai, whose name is sort of synonymous with immigrant rights here in the Houston metro area. Zenobia, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Sandy. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this very important event to highlight the public-private partnership to make Greater Houston the citizenship capital. We can do it, and I'll explain why we can do it together. So let me talk about what is Houston Immigration Legal Services Collaborative. We were founded exactly 10 years ago to help immigrants who are eligible for deferred action for charter arrivals to apply for deportation protection. And as you know, DACA has not been, the magic bullet that we hope that it is. So from there, we have grown our kind of service to include different kinds of immigration services. And we are very proud to be a partner with the county Community Services Department to move ahead with the 3 different legal services fund so that detained immigrants who are Harris County residents will have free representation, so that the chance of winning relief or release will be 10 times better than if they go it alone. And we are very excited to be partnering with NPNA to build on a very long history of collaboration to help our immigrant members of our community to become citizens. So we know that there are lots of barriers for that prevent people from pursuing citizenship. As Harvey Michelle talked about, they're like personal considerations. But the two biggest barriers that are in materials that we receive is financial and language barrier. Many people, especially if they immigrate at an older age, it's not as easy for them to acquire proficiency in English. So English proficiency is definitely one barrier. But the other barrier is financial. And I want to share a little bit about my immigration story, just a little bit. So 30 years ago, I applied for my citizenship. At the time, the application fee for the application N400 was $40. And now, as you all know, it's $725. It increased by 16% if you only look at the application fees plus the $85 of biometrics fees. And then I looked at how do you kind of evaluate whether the inflation is justified, right? Looking at the federal minimum wage. In 1993, it was $4.25. It was still pretty terrible. Right now, it's $7.25. It did not increase by 16 or 18%. Fold, right? So back then, if you want to save money to pay for the N400 fees, you save $1. It takes a month and a half. It's still a long time.
हार्वे मिचेल जैक्सन, जिन्होंने हाल ही में शहरियत इख्तियार की थी, ने इस मौका पर अपने तजर्बात से हाज़रीन को आगाह किया, जिसके बाद थाउ कोस्टस कम्युनिटी सर्विसेज डिपार्टमेंट से हैरिस के एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर ज़ेनोबिया लाय ने भी बात की। मुकर्ररीन ने फंडिंग, ग्रांट्स और तारकीन वतन की मदद के लिए कानूनी इमदाद समेत बहुत सारे अमूर पर गुफ्तगू की।
25% of our population, and we are the third most populous county in the nation. 25% of our population are immigrants, and they make up a third of our workforce, our labor force. And so this group and what we're trying to do can be transformative. And the county is grateful to be a partner with our city and of course Houston Endowment. Again, public-private sectors and our not-for-profit organizations who come together to make great change possible. So one of the commitments that the county has already done is through our legal services to support our immigrants, helping people who are victims of crime, who are immigrants, and helping people who are facing deportation. And so now, with this opportunity, we're able to add
informing the people around us, and they're also gaining knowledge and growing in their profession, and also perhaps even staying with organizations and becoming staff. I know that I have heard stories yesterday of people here on staff at NPNA who started as community navigators. But all in all, I just want to close this off by saying that it is important to be able to join this force. Mi Familia Vota will really emphasize the importance of community navigators to inform our members out there, and for stories like my mother's to not be as repetitive as we see. It shouldn't take an eligible resident to become a citizen 10 years to think about because of the fear or because of the financial burden or because of the English language barrier. They should be able, as soon as they're able to file for naturalization, they should be able to do it without those barriers to think about. So I know together we will make it happen.
There are so many questions as a journalist that personal stories raise, like what finally prompted your mom to decide, and all of these. We hope that there will be time, not just in the Q&A, but after, when we break for lunch, when people have a chance to do one-on-one interviews. We now go to Terrence O'Neill, Division.
मुकर्ररीन में मौजूद प्रोग्राम मैनेजर बराए मी फेमिलिया डियाना इज़ा, अमेरिकन और तारकीन वतन कम्युनिटीज़ के ऑफिस के डिवीजनल मैनेजर टेरेस ओनील शामिल थे। इस मौका पर जमहूरिया कोरिया के इंसुकमिन ने खुद को दरपेश मुश्किलात से भी आगाह किया। इसके बाद हाज़रीन को दोपहर का खाना पेश किया गया और फिर मेयर सिल्वेस्टर टर्नर की जानिब से खिताब हुआ, जिसमें उन्होंने कहा है कि सिटी ऑफ ह्यूस्टन इन तमाम लोगों का शुक्रगुजार है जो शहरियत के ख्वाहिशमंद अफराद की मदद के लिए भरपूर कोशिशें कर रहे हैं। उन्होंने कहा है कि 19 सितंबर 2023 को शहरियत के दिन के तौर पर मनाया जाएगा।